Thanks to Shapr3D for sponsoring this video and supporting my channel. So it's been a little over a year since I put out my first video about Shapr3D and how it's changed my entire workflow, and since then I've received a whole lot of questions from you guys about the app and just about CAD in general, and one of those questions that always stood out to me was, if I become proficient with paper and pencil, then what are the advantages of knowing CAD? And I was making that video to answer that question when I realized, to me, this tool does so much more than drawing something perfectly to scale. It's actually had a significant impact on how I learned woodworking, and so today I'd like to tell you guys a story of how I went from someone who's never shown any interest in woodworking to building a crib after just 6 months of picking up my first tool, and now almost 4 years later, how CAD has continued to improve my productivity and efficiency in the shop. If you had told me 4 years ago that I would be building my own furniture, I would have probably had a stroke because, as I said, I never had an interest in woodworking before. I didn't grow up watching a family member in a garage building stuff or some guy on TV that renovated houses. Even though I did take shop class in high school, that was just to fulfill a requirement. I really liked the hands-on aspect of the class and learning how to use the tools, but when it actually came to building stuff, I never felt like I was making my own thing. We were just always given a set of instructions to blindly follow to make whatever we were told to make, which most of the time wasn't even anything I actually cared for. And at the end of the day, as long as it came out okay and I still had all of my fingers, I got an A for it. So, it just felt like I was being rewarded for regurgitation and not learning, and I hated that. Maybe that teaching style works for some people. It really didn't do anything to inspire me to want to do more with it. So, when I finished the class, I thought I would never have to cut another piece of wood again. So now let's fast forward 2 decades later. My wife and I bought a house that needed a door between the master bedroom and bathroom, and for whatever reason, the door opening was just not a standard size, so we had to look for a sliding barn door, and all of the ones that we looked at were really expensive, and so I did what any responsible adult would do in such a situation. I went onto YouTube. And I literally spent hours just watching other people make doors. And if you ever watch any DIY videos, you know how easy those people make everything look. So you will understand why I felt like I could do it too. And next thing you know, I bought some lumber, a circular saw, and a pocket hole jig and went at it. Turns out it was really hard. But somehow I got it done, and the door wasn't even flat. I didn't even get the size right, and my house stank for like 2 weeks. But that was my door, and I remember just being so excited because I had built something with my own hands that I actually needed, and I got creative with it. I felt like I was free to make my own thing, and it was just so satisfying and motivating to me. And I remember thinking in that moment, what else can I make? And I'm one of those people who, once I get really excited about something, I tend to go all in. So after making just that one lopsided door, I went out and bought all of the best tools that I could afford, including the saw style that's in my shop right now. Guys, gear acquisition syndrome is a real problem. The next most obvious thing for me to build was some storage for all of these new shiny tools I just got. After some YouTube research, I decided to build Johnny Brooks' workbench because I just really liked the storage design, but I wanted to go with the poke style top, so I had to make some changes to Johnny's original design to accommodate that taller top without changing the overall height of the workbench. But the tricky part was that it still needed to fit the sustainers I got, which meant I had to change poke's dimensions as well. But I lucked out because Johnny actually included a CAD model with his plans, so all I had to do was minimize the height of the base to fit the sustainers, and that would tell me the height of the top. And once I got started making these changes, I got really into it, and I started making other design changes to increase the work surface and the storage space as well, and CAD made really quick work of these changes because everything just took a few clicks, and if I needed to add parts, I just made copies of the original design elements without having to redraw anything like I would have to with paper and pencil. And the best best part is that the computer did all of the math for me. And in those 2 hours of redesigning everything, something really interesting happened. I found that I was actually learning how the workbench was constructed because CAD allowed me to see all of these elements of the model, and I could deconstruct and reconstruct the parts to see how everything came together. I felt like I gained a better understanding of the whole build process in just those 2 hours than all of the weeks I spent previously watching videos. And from that moment on, I started every single project with a full design in CAD. If there's one thing that I could credit CAD for when it comes to how it's impacted me as a furniture designer is that it encouraged me to try new things and not be scared to make mistakes, because one of the biggest advantages of CAD is the ability to play with different design ideas without having to redraw anything. So for example, the credenza I built right after the workbench was the first time that I actually designed a piece of furniture from scratch. And I remember having so many design ideas flowing in my head, and CAD made it really easy for me to take an initial design, create a copy of it, and make some design changes, and then compare the two models side by side. And I can do this over and over until I finally land on a design that I was happy with. I think I had like 3 or 4 different designs until I settled on the one I built, and the crib that I built right after that was the result of 9 or 10 iterations, because I kept wanting to try new things, and one new thing led to another new thing, and it just kept snowballing like that. But I was totally okay with that, because remember that thing I said I found most enjoyable when I made that door, the freedom to go and make my own thing? Well, that's exactly what I was doing in CAD. I was making my own thing. I was being creative, I was learning, and I was actually engaged with what I was learning. But, most importantly, I was having a lot of fun with it, and my mind just loved it. And the crazy thing is, after almost 4 years of woodworking, CAD has continued to add value to my business. Now, first and foremost, being able to view all of the parts of the model allows me to see and fix any potential issues before I even get out to the shop, which saves a significant amount of time, money, and frustration. Secondly, making my own cutting diagrams where I can arrange all the pieces exactly how I want to cut them out. This way I can batch out a bunch of similar sized parts with the least amount of fence changes, which speeds up my workflow and reduces waste. And contrary to how it may sound, it's actually really quick to do in CAD, because I'm just creating copies of my existing parts, and I end up with pieces that are color matched already to the model, so I always know what's what. And thirdly, let's take this a step beyond just project design, because CAD is an extremely effective communication tool when working with clients, especially when your client is far away. And a really good example of this was when I made my built-in unit for Chatime in Michigan. So after going to the store the first time to take some initial measurements, all subsequent design reviews were done remotely, because I just had to send them the 3D model, and then they can use the app to view it and take measurements whenever it was convenient for them. And if they had any questions or requests, they just sent me a text with a screenshot, and usually I made the changes in a few minutes and sent it right back. And the only other time I had to go to the store was to do the install, so it just saved everybody a lot of time and money. And since we're on the topic of saving time and money, we really can't avoid talking about CNC, and that's a really stuffed up subject that I can make a whole nother video about. But to put it simply, it's a tool that has opened up a lot of possibilities for my business as well as what I can create. And I started out by making simple personalized engravings for the Harry Potter shelves that I was selling, and then later I made templates for my projects and then storage trays for my tools. But the main thing I use my CNC for is to carve 3D designs on drawer fronts, just to add some character and uniqueness to what I'm building at the time. And as much as I would like to give my CNC all of the credit, the reality of it is it all had to be designed in CAD first. And once I was able to be proficient with both of these tools, it just elevated my productivity, efficiency, and creativity to another level. And as much as I would like to end the video right there, I think it's really important for me to mention that CAD is not a perfect tool, because if it is, then I just wasted the past 40 hours making this video. But I think the biggest reason why people are turned off by CAD is the steep learning curve. And even when we first launched the app, we're overwhelmed by all these tools on the screen, and even navigating around the model needs some getting used to. And the crazy thing is, I've used so many different app programs over the past 20 years, I still have a hard time whenever I try a new one. So I totally get it, guys. I mean, what good is a design program if we can't even figure out how to use it? So That is precisely the reason why I was so excited when I first discovered Shapr3D and why I take every opportunity to recommend it to people, especially those who have been avoiding CAD because of how complex it seems. And I'm not saying that this is the most powerful CAD program for woodworkers or even the most affordable, but it is the most user-friendly, most efficient, and most enjoyable CAD program I have ever used. And if you guys want to know why I say those things, just click up here to check out my other video on the app. And because of the reasons I listed in those videos, Shapr3D will always be the program that I recommend first to people looking to get into CAD and also those looking to improve their entire design and workflow efficiency. So like I said, I've only been doing this for about 4 years, and during my short time with this, I've seen a lot of change in this industry. And just like any other industry, everything's evolving faster, demands are higher, and timelines are shorter. No matter what industry we're in, we need to adapt to those changes. We need to keep learning new things and not be afraid to fail, because that's the only way for us to grow. So yeah, that's basically all I want to say today, and I want to thank everyone who asked me that question. I honestly didn't think it was going to turn into this type of video, but I hope what I said made sense, and I hope someone out there got something out of this. So I'm going to end this video right here the exact same way that it started.